Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is middle of the month for May Tarot Oracle reading. And Cancer, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Cancer, we all have a little bit of that sign in our chart somewhere. Where does Cancer show up in your chart? That is where this information, whoops, I've got my deck upside down. I've got a cat on my lap, so it's just making it a little difficult. All right, and so this is also a timely reading. So if you are watching this at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I have posted this, what was going on in your life then? That could give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, just gonna double check that I have this set up right. I've been doing this new format here, this new spread, so that I can feature my paintings from Tales from the Vector. And we have that fixed up now. Double check one more time. Yes, okay. Just want to make sure that at the end you'll be able to see the whole reading. All right, so the underlying energy for the entire reading is the Five of Wands. That's my mean girl card. This energy is definitely, this is adolescent energy, and Cancer, you are like at about, you know, the fourth sign in the horoscope. So this is kind of adolescent energy. So this reading will be very clearly for you. This is my Mean Girls card, though. This is talking about unfair or like immature competition. And, you know, this is the only card in the tarot where it features adolescence. And you notice on the painting here that there's girls gossiping in the background, and this other girl is being left out, being isolated from the group. That's so common, like grade 4-ish and grade 5. Well, and then it can continue, but it can be, maybe it's even earlier now because people grow up earlier, it seems now. So this energy is, you know, think about narcissistic cheerleaders. They are on the cheerleading team, and they're at a competition, and they can see the other team is clearly better than them, but they want to win that trophy. So they'll do anything behind the scenes to kind of favor them to win, and if they don't succeed, then their mothers will. And this is the energy of immature competition. When you mature, you start to realize, yes, it's always nice to win the trophy, but competition is actually to inspire you to better yourself. And so if you use competition to inspire you rather than being obsessed with the outcome, like the trophy that day, you're way more likely to build character from it and learn from it. And so when you, mature competition is when you start to realize it doesn't matter who you're competing against for what. The real competition is with yourself for your performance to be better than it was. At least all it has to do is be like 1% better than the last time you went out there and competed. And this could be for job promotions, you know, career development. It can be for, you know, matters of love, etc. So it's this energy here of being, you know, understanding that the real competition is within yourself. Can you keep your shift together under pressure? That's basically and can you learn from the competition? Because that would be the best case scenario. And then we have the moon energy for the energy of the internal forces. So internal forces are what you have control over. You don't have control over what other people say or do in the external forces, but you do have control over whether you respond or react. And that's basically your internal forces. And you can tell it's an internal force because you'll be asking the question, what if this happens? What if they do that? What am I going to do then? You know, what if I do this? Are they going to do that? You know, that type of energy, which can keep you in a thinking loop, which is apparently happening on some level here. And this energy is, you know, it's up to you to kind of decide how you're going to handle. Are you going to react to the information or the competition, or are you going to respond to it? And so the moon energy is talking about hidden illusions. It's interesting because we have the crab energy here, but this is actually a lobster climbing out of the water, wanting to make its way on this path here, and this is its path of glory. This is wanting to stay, on the up and up, be the best version that you can be, and despite any hidden illusions, secrets, that type of energy. And so the lobster is trying to gain the courage to climb out of the water here, which represents emotion, and be vulnerable and stay on the path and be brave enough to go past this dog and this wolf who are both howling at the moon there. Sometimes this card can say, it could be sort of a conflict between your domestic side and your wild side. So this could be saying that, you've been a little bit too domestic, you need to get out more, you need, to stop isolating. And this energy can say, well, you're a wild child and maybe you should come home once in a while, that type of energy. So, and the idea is to stay on the path in between these two pillars, despite any what you come across, and not to be distracted by hidden secrets and illusions that take you off your path. We do have the full moon here, we have the new moon, and we have the sun. So this represents all of those energies, the eclipses, the full moon and new moon. We do have a new moon coming up in this time frame. It's on May 16th, and the moon is going to be in the sign of Taurus. And this moon is about evaluating relationships with your possessions, basically. So Taurus energy is very much geared towards representing the element of the pentacle. And pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness. And so this energy, this new moon, is going to be about that kind of energy, about your possessions, your security, how you're feeling about where you're living right now. Those are the topics that may come up more than likely. There aren't a whole lot of new astrological influences, thank the Lord, because we've had quite a bit. So we do have the new moon, and so just be aware, because Scorpio is across the horoscope wheel from Taurus, and so the Scorpio energy is opposing that energy. Any sign that's across from yours in the wheel will be feeling the energy of the moon, as well. And because Cancer energy is ruled by the moon, the energy when the moon is in a new moon or a full moon, the emotions for you can run really high. And being a water sign and being the youngest of the water signs, the emotions can be very, very volatile. Anyway, Cancer energy is probably the most sensitive out of all the signs, but that sensitivity can be used in a very strong way. So if you learn to use your intuition to be in a stronger position, your intuition is super sharp compared to everybody else's. So it's talking about using that sensitivity in a really strong way, especially when there's new moon and full moon energy. And the internal forces, we have, this is how your self-image, how you're feeling right now. Basically, you're in your identity of yourself. And this is the Two of Wands, is representing fire energy. And the element of fire, passion, passionate action. And this Two of Wands represents someone who is standing at the top of the turret of their castle, and they're thinking about, I'm the king or the queen of the world, and he's got this globe in his hand, and so this represents the energy of understanding that you're doing really well, and this is about having success, but the problem is that maybe you live in a smaller place, and you want to expand your horizons. So quite often this can represent, big fish in a little pond sort of energy. And I quite often think of this card as, an entrepreneur that wants to expand their business, and they know they need to move their business or start another location because there's just not enough clients or for what they're selling where they are. It can also represent, like in business, it can be that type of energy, wanting to expand your business, which is really good news because it's saying that you're successful. It can also talk about wanting to expand globally. Sometimes this card represents wanting to actually make a move, like physically, the actual place, your residence. You want to sell your home and move to even maybe overseas, it can say. This energy is talking about the love of travel and liking to have some adventure in your life. So you might be feeling a little bit, it depends on your energy, what you're wanting to expand, but it is talking about wanting to do so. And then we have the Three of Pentacles, and as I said, the Three of Pentacles is representing the energy of health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world, and security, basically. Because of in today's world in particular, we do need to have money, the coin, to feel safe and secure. And this energy of the Three of Pentacles is saying you're in a very good position right now. It's saying again that you have success. This card is about your abundance. And so it's saying that you are in an elevated position. People are recognizing that you've mastered your skill set. And they find your work very valuable and they want to collaborate with you. So that's awesome news. And this energy is talking about being in an elevated position. So it can mean that perhaps, like, this person is a stone mason. They're doing this beautiful sculpting work in the stone. And this can represent that you maybe have a skill that, is not that common, like that you're very, very good at it and you stand out above the crowd if it is common. Quite often this represents an energy of someone who's in the arts, and maybe, like an actor, actress, possibly like a really good musician, that type of energy. And the people are coming around and, they want you to be in the blockbuster movie that they're putting out there as the lead actor or actress, or you're the music, producers and, the agents are all coming around. They're wanting they want to sign you up. That type of energy. This could also represent like someone who, you might be a really, really good athlete and, really showing a lot of promise. And this could represent people from colleges and universities wanting to sign you up, for scholarships. Or maybe you're past that point now and it's talking about you're already at the university level or college level and they're wanting to have you come and play for their pro team. This could represent being like having your degree, and maybe you're valedictorian, you're really high up, you had the highest marks. Everybody wants, you're having a lot of people coming around and are interested in hiring you or collaborating with you. So this is an awesome position to be in. And it's saying, this card is saying, make sure, because you're in the elevated position, that you don't just consider like the money value or that type of energy, but you consider your lifestyle. Because quite often in those industries, and we see it all the time, people are breadcrumbed while other people make way more money off of them than they make themselves. Or there could be, like you sign up with one team and then when you get there you realize you hate living there and you're stuck there for 3 or 4 years. Maybe you have a young family and you don't want to be across the country, from the rest of your family because you have babies, and that type of energy. So this can also represent getting a ticket for, and working as an apprentice, and now being able to be out there and be doing your thing. If it's a trade, or even if you're an intern for a doctor, all of those different, you want to make sure that when you sign contracts, make agreements, that they are in agreement with your lifestyle, not the other way around, because some of these contracts can have some pretty major loopholes in it, and you may find that you're breadcrumbed while other people are making way more money than you, that especially in the music and the acting guild industry. We hear stories of that all the time. And this sometimes can even represent secret society energy, where there may be something you're signing up for more than just the position. You're signing up for all the rituals and everything else that they have in place. Get a really good lawyer to make sure that you have a really good contract, someone who is versed in that area, whatever it is you're in, if you're signing anything, so that you have the best deal possible. And then we have temperance here. And temperance is talking about earth angel energy. There has been I feel a big shift has happened in the earth angel energy. When it's coming up in your internal forces, it's representing that you're on your destined path. You're doing your best to stay on your destined path. You have your right foot in the water, and so like you've made that decision to stay on that path, and even when you're vulnerable, you do so. And so like that is why I feel like this is coming up. It's saying make sure that you're not signing up for something that you don't want to be signing up for on a spiritual level. And also it's talking about, like she has her right foot in the universal pool here, and that is representing she's ready to take action and bring her own beautiful qualities into the universal world. She's got her left foot grounded here on earth, and look at, there's already flowers growing here. So this is saying, in the Bible it says there's 144,000 angels that are that God sends down to earth to make the world a more fair and beautiful place. But I feel like there's been a big shift in that energy. We're seeing it a lot now, where a lot of the people that were getting away with a lot of real, let's just say evil would be about the right word to use. They don't have good intentions for other people. And that energy is being shouted out like all around the world right now. Every day we're seeing another truth come up about something, and it's really interesting because it's like from sometimes generations ago, and I feel like there's been a major shift where the line's been drawn now. Like it's time to choose. Which side are you going to be on here? Are you going to be upright and if you're in competition, do things in a fair way, be the best version of yourself, do your best to add to the beauty of the world? Or are you going to do whatever it takes to get what you want, and you don't care the effect that it has on the rest of the people around you or the earth, or even if it has a very negative effect? And so that energy, I feel like the line has been drawn, and now we have this energy coming in here. So here it is saying that you are have an opportunity here to be very abundant. And if you make sure that the contract is sound and you're not, you're staying on your destined path here. This is communication in early life. And basically, I feel what that is saying is that, we all learn very young. We know we have a built-in system knowing what is good and evil, what's right and wrong, that type of energy. And most people, by the time, they're this age, they know what they're doing is, like that it's wrong, but they want to win. It's that type of energy. And I think this is speaking way more about the world at large, like adults, but it's using this energy because, the Cancer energy is that state of being of that sign is that energy, the most young of the most emotional signs. The water signs are very emotional. and taking advantage of people who are emotional, and maybe more sensitive, instead of honoring that and bringing that the beauty out in that. And this is what this is when you grow up a little bit here, and this is your emotional foundation now. And if you've been in a position like bullied or that type of energy, there's a point where you just say, you know what, I've had enough of this bullshit. And you're willing to receive from the universe, and you want to move forward, and you want to move forward in your life, and you're not willing to put up with the bullshit anymore. You've been there, you've done that, you have the t-shirt. And it's kind of like, if you want to come in, the Queen of Swords is considered the coldest of all the queens in the deck, and it's because she's been in this energy of being bullied for too long. And really, this energy is talking about, like, she's willing to receive, but she's not willing to put up with any more bullshit. And if you count, she's learned a lot, and her head is above the clouds. She has clarity as to what she will and will not put up with anymore. She has her right, her sword in her right hand here, and she's ready to off with your head. Like, if you're going to try to come around her with a bunch of bullshit, don't bother, because she's not going to tolerate it. It's like done. And eventually we all have to kind of learn that there's bullies out there, and they think they're getting their way, but generally bullies are the least confident of anyone, and that's why they behave in that way. And they're jealous of you for a reason. It's always the most talented people that end up getting bullied at school, more often than not. And so this energy, you could take it as a compliment, that type of energy, but you don't want to be putting up with it. And especially not once you're an adult. You have to learn the discernment, and you have to let people know you're not putting up with their bullshit. And so this is the wounded warrior energy, and quite often this sensitivity can lead to this kind of energy. This is creativity, romance, and children. So this is your emotional foundation. I feel that you've learned a bit here, from life, and you have managed to land 8 wands, which is a huge feat. There's 10 wands in tarot, and it's talking about this is about leaning heavy on that 9th wand. So this is saying that you're super successful. And that's why people tend to, want to try and take from you, because you have something to take from. So as I said, you can look at this as a compliment, but you don't have to put up with it anymore. This is saying, though, that like it gets old, and this person is like tired. Like this is saying, you are tired. I'm tired of this, especially in romance, putting up with it from, if it's stunting your creativity. In this case, it doesn't look like it. You've managed to land 8 wands, and you're working on the 9th, and there's only 1 to go, and then you have the ultimate, amount of actions that you could take. And I feel like that is, this expansion is happening for you. But you're tired of being tired of this energy from staying, it's kind of like, it can feel like when you're on a path where you don't give in to temptation to do things that would take advantage of other people, cut corners, that type of energy, that the people around you that do that seem to get ahead. But it's very temporary. And this is, Michael Jackson had that song, can you look in the mirror, the man in the mirror? Can you look in the mirror and be proud of yourself? And this is like being in this energy is the wounded warrior, but this energy changes as each wand lands and your actions become stronger. You learn more and more, and then you get to this point where you just don't put up with any bullshit, but you're super successful from it, because the competition has pushed you so hard. And so in a way, it pushes you to really be the best version of yourself. And so that's why it happens. Like it's kind of like a diamond in the rough, a tempered sword, that type of energy. But this is talking about your daily routine, basically, and your habits. And so this is saying that this may be causing you to have a closed mind about certain things, just because of certain things that have happened. And it's not beneficial to have a closed mind. You want to have an open mind still, to be able to accept, to be able to receive what you want to receive, and opening your heart up, because you don't want to be closing your heart and saying, well, I don't need love and I don't need other people in my life, that type of energy. You want to be open to having all the beauty in life that you deserve. So this is talking like, you can see from this person's body language, they're in a closed mind or in a very difficult situation right now, not knowing which way to go. And they can only see two options, this or that. My way or the highway. And this energy is, you can see that it's draining this person's energy. With the feet turned out like this in body language, that's like, it's about really draining the energy from your sacral, or from your base chakra, which is about survival and, the security that we're talking about, like with the Taurus energy. For this new moon coming up. And look, we have the new moon here. So it's saying, I feel like there might be some sort of opportunity coming up for you here. And you don't want to be in this position at this full moon that's on May 16th. What is it today? I think it's the 7th. So about 9 days from now. Work on this now. Because I feel like there's some sort of energy coming in that wants to shift this. There's been a major shift in the Earth Angel energy in general. I did a reading and it was kind of like they're on strike. They're not willing to babysit people who are grown adults that behave like children anymore. That it's just done. These people are on their own. So I've just been instructed, if it's an internal force where an angel shows up, sure, the angel's working for you. But if it's an external force that's negative, they're on their own. And the karma is about to hit. So this is saying, don't turn down an opportunity that is not, like, that is a solid opportunity because of having a closed mind. You see how she has her heart protected here. The arms are saying that you feel vulnerable right now about making a decision because because of this energy that that you're in, this wounded warrior, and learning the discernment. So you don't want to go so far one way and then go the other way, where, okay, now you're not going to accept any offers. And so this is talking about the right arm is holding back the left arm, and the right arm is your logic, and the left arm in body language would be your intuition. So you don't want you want to be able to use your logical mind and your intuitive mind. The swords are about intellect and thoughts and your discipline of your mind. You need to quiet your mind and use your intuition, because I feel like there could be a really good opportunity coming up that a lot of people would love to have. And you could land this with ease. The problem with this energy is sometimes we get so used to having to battle for everything that when an opportunity comes in that's really a really beneficial opportunity, we tend to treat it as if it's like not, just automatically. So I feel like if there is something like that coming up for you, then you want to make sure that you're open to looking into it and seeing if it actually is a really good opportunity. All right, we're going to work on the external forces now. So the energy from the bottom of the deck for overall external. Yeah, look at this. So this is talking about a new lover coming through here. And so this energy is ordained by God. The sun is the happiest card in the deck because it represents God's energy. And if you've been alone and you've been feeling like, I'm done with love kind of energy, no, you're not. God is saying you deserve to have all the love that you want in your life. And it's an illusion if you think that you don't deserve it. Do not give in to that energy. Do not sell yourself short here. This is talking about some sort of energy coming in now. This is talking about, like, these two people, the cloud between them can represent that you maybe don't know this person yet, you haven't met them yet, but they're coming through. This is an external force on the way. And this is talking also, it could be someone you know, but someone you just have never had like an intimate relationship with, or someone like maybe that you haven't been around since adolescent age, because that's kind of the age here. And so you'll know, you might have an idea what this is. And so you might be in this closed mind, you know, with a blindfold on. I don't want to, I'm not going to risk hurting my heart again. This energy is there's some sort of choice coming in. Now, if this isn't about love, like romantic love, this could be about something you love to do or love to be coming in for you. Pay attention and use your intuition. And I would do some inner work, you know, coming up to this new moon, because your intuition is going to be really sharp. And I feel it has something to do with your security, you know, that type of energy. And then, yeah, and it's going to be a whole new world. So this cycle is over. I love this, especially after like the angels and the galactic angels all decided they're the star energy all went on strike about 4 or 5 days ago in one of my readings. And it was about tired of being babysitting grown-ass adults that behave like children and haven't learned this, that this is immature behavior. It's not beneficial to anyone. And they've been warned enough times to stop already. Like, you're an adult now, grow up. It's that kind of energy. And so now these external forces coming towards you are going to be very different. The angel is saying, we have your back. We don't work for them anymore. We're not babysitting them. If they've been warned enough times, if there's people in your life that are going out of their way to make your life difficult, the karma is about to hit them. So make sure that you let go of any old energy that is not benefiting you. And like the new moon is a great time to sow new seeds after having released the old ones. If you haven't released any old energy from May 1st, when that was the Scorpio full moon, and Scorpio wants to blow things up and put it back together again. So you may have noticed around May 1st that you might have had some like real strange happenings. You know, I'm just getting that kind of energy. Really, really interesting. This is really good energy for you in particular with your sign, with this moon energy coming in. And we have now that you know what you know, you have conviction beyond a doubt that you will stand up for yourself. You are standing on higher ground here. And this is such an interesting card, because this is going into your position of transition happening in your life right now. And look at this. We have this energy that of this actions that being taken against you, that now you're standing on higher ground and you know what you know, and you have conviction beyond a doubt that you will stand up for yourself and you will not give in to this bullshit energy. You are going to get what's yours. And this is talking about, you notice this person has a boot on one foot and a shoe on the other. And this, you know, could be, oh, you were in such a hurry because, like, look at, there's 6 against 1. But you're like, absolutely no doubt that you're going to win this one. And this is more likely with this card saying that you're straddled in between this energy. Like you've got one foot in this world and one foot in the other. And look where it shows up. And this is your partnerships, commitments, and marriage. So there's some really good energy coming in. It's different from what you're used to. It's something that God is smiling down on you and saying you will be really happy. Wow, this is really, really good energy. I love to see. And I love that this is in this position of Scorpio energy, the house of Scorpio, transition, blowing things up on May 1st and then putting it back together in a brand new way, that it actually, because sometimes we get in this energy where we're so used to having to fight for everything that we find it very suspicious if we haven't. A major good shift in your favor here. I really, really feel that. And look at this. I love this. This is talking about it's coming in now. It's in a hurry. These, you know, if you look at the Sagittarius energy, the centaur, you know, he takes his bow and arrow and he is shooting the arrows in the target in the stars, and they land tung, 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 like that. And this is saying, like, look at, these are the 8 wands that you've already landed. Awesome, awesome energy. Really good. This is talking about your higher learning. You've learned so much from these bullies. You know, that's why it's really interesting, because you get to a certain point, and if you're not there yet, you're very close. Because sometimes this is an energy where you can walk in someone else's shoes as well. Sometimes this can be about identity theft as well. And I'm going to get into that when I get these last cards down here. But this can talk about walking in someone else's shoes. And that's when you realize that you, no matter what these bullies have done and how hard it has been on you, you are so grateful. Like, you go to, every day you thank God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God, for me not being one of these bullies. Thank you, because the last thing you would want to be is one of them. Especially a grown-up bully. There's a lot of karma there that is about to hit. Boom. And it's coming in. Quite a bit of this energy is because of Uranus. The planet of Uranus moved into Gemini, and it's going to be there for the next 7 to 8 years. And bottom line, if you want to learn more about that, you can go back to the end of the month of April and the beginning of May. That's when that energy came in, if you want more information. But bottom line, it's saying that the truth is coming out, and every day we're seeing more and more truth coming out. And you can see the karma hitting people that thought they'd, you know, gotten away with something for generations, decades, are now being hit hard, like really hard. And they don't know how to take it, because they've been the bully, they haven't been the bullied. And now it's like, not always true. Sometimes people who are bullied end up being bullies, but eventually you have to grow up. And the angels have decided, and the star energy have decided, no more coddling, and God's like, okay. I was wondering when you angels would be fed up. I'm all for that. Let's and so this is talking about ultimate fulfillment in a perfectly imperfect world. Will you ever have ultimate fulfillment, a perfect life every minute of every day? Probably not, because that's not how life is. But this is saying that you do have, that is definitely coming your way, that you could have ultimate fulfillment in a perfectly imperfect world. This is really, really good energy. I like it. I like it for you, Cancer. This is, you know, you see in this picture here, this crab. It's really interesting. There's also these crabs in the bucket here. You know, did you know that if crabs are in a bucket, like, you know, like someone's gathered them up for dinner that night, and one of the crabs tries to escape, instead of following that crab and going, good idea, let's get out of here, they'll grab that crab and they'll pull him down into their bullshit. And they won't let, like, they'll try to stop him from escaping, or her from escaping. And that's the kind of energy that we're talking about. You know, crabs in a bucket. Wow. And yeah, look at the disappointment. So this is talking about the external forces coming in. And this energy, I think you've probably have experienced some disappointment, maybe from a lover, because it's saying you have someone new coming in. And there could have been a third party energy where, you know, and, you know, this is talking about, this person is standing here because these are spilt. And there's a saying, don't cry over spilt milk, because you can't get it. You can't get the milk back once it spills into the ground. So it's a loss. You just have to accept it. And some people will stand here for the rest of their life. And you remember, these represent love. In this case, there's 2 cups of wine, and then there's 1 cup of something else here, like some sort of liquid that could be poisonous to the relationship. And this person could stand here for the rest of their life and be in remorse, but you chose to move forward on your path regardless of this energy, and it's paying off big time for you. I feel this is talking about the remorse of the people that have alienated you now, that you're not willing to put up with their bullshit anymore. You're not willing to be their victim. You never were their victim. You were just being kind. And they mistook your kindness, your innocence, your decision to be on your a kind person on your genuine path in life. And they took that to be a weakness, and it's actually one of the biggest strengths that you can have. And I feel this is definitely talking about their remorse, not yours. They are in regret. If they thought the grass was greener on the other side, they are now finding out that it was greener because it was fake. And, oh, judgment is being called. Yes. Okay, so whatever situation you're in, look at this. Like, judgment's being called. The angel is blowing the horn and saying, yeah, they're on their own. We're done. We are done. We are working for people who are staying on their path. If they've been warned and they don't change their behavior, then we warned them and they weren't listening, and we're going to focus on the people that are making the world a better place now. We're like, you know, if someone's new and they haven't been warned yet, okay, we might consider it. But it just like when the angels are fed up, then you know your behavior needs to change. And so this energy is talking about the ancestors are literally climbing out of their boxes. They're so thrilled. Finally, they might have been putting up with this bullshit themselves, and maybe your grandparents also put up with the same kind of bullshit, and they're done. And they're like, yay, finally, judgment is being called. And this can talk about skeletons coming out of the closet, and Pandora's box being opened. And that's what bullies do. They end up opening up Pandora's box, and they couldn't have handled one day of your life when they were this mean. They couldn't have handled it. And they can't handle it now as an adult because they haven't learned anything from it. Whereas look at you. This is really good energy. I really like to see this, Cancer. I feel like you're going to be on a roll. So make sure you do some inner work here so that you can have the confidence to move forward and have the discernment. You know, look into whatever, if it's a business deal or whether this is love, look into it, you know, do your homework. But at the same time, don't turn something down just because of the past energy. All right, if you're leaving the reading here and you've enjoyed it, please give it a like and comment, and consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy of the channel. I would be honored. Now I'm going to clarify with my oracle cards. I started this oracle back in 2007, and in 2020 I completed 64 paintings. Now this is one of the 64 paintings, but a lot of the paintings were really big dragon paintings from the future, 3 feet by 4 foot paintings with a lot of detail in them like this. So it took me a while, and I'm just now gathering the information. The numbers on these cards represent the paintings, how they are listed in my, this belongs here actually. And the underlying energy for this is here. And then we have one more here. Where are we here? Okay. All right, so the numbers here represent the paintings as they're listed in my gallery on talesfromthevector.com. I'll have the information in the box below, and the numbers on these cards represent the number of the painting in the gallery. And I'll put them in the order that they are here so you know which ones to look up if you're interested. Now, the other thing I wanted to say, this is from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. All right, now there's a major transition happening. I feel like this is talking, it's on a spiritual level coming down where a line has been drawn. It's kind of, there's spiritual warfare going on. We can all see it. We can all recognize what's happening. And so there's being a major shift here, and it's time to decide. Are you going to be a bully, or are you going to be someone that wants to be the best version of yourself and focus on your own journey instead of focusing on someone else's and trying to take from someone that you have no business taking from. This disruption energy, definitely, what is fun for some is not fun for everyone. And I really feel like this energy of disruption, this is kind of that Scorpio energy that opposes the Taurus new moon energy. And the full moon, you may have been, I was picking up some energy, it may have been kind of an emotionally very volatile time. And maybe you felt like something that you really cared about was falling apart. And you may already be in this energy where you've realized, oh, thank goodness it did. I had an experience like that this morning where I was like, wow, I am so glad that I decided to turn down that decision. And I can see the reasons why now. It's that the hidden illusions and secrets behind whatever was happening. So when it blew up, it was like in your benefit. Yay. The Gemini energy, I feel this is talking about that energy I was saying where Uranus is in Gemini and a lot of truth coming out. And the truth is, the truth will set you free. Sorry, I have a lot of construction happening, and just as I said, the truth will set you free. We had a drum roll there. I don't know how good my noise canceling mic is. The world this is talking. The world is changing for the secret society energy, people who take advantage of other people that don't know as much about what's going on. And that is exactly the drum roll again. What follows thunder? Lightning, right? And lightning hits the tower in tarot, and I feel there's going to be a major tower for people who go out of their way to pick on the innocent people and take advantage of them. That kind of energy is, there's a major change coming. And then we have dissemination. This is when I feel like there's always like this voice in the background, our intuition saying you need to pay attention to this. And you may have been in a position where you got hit really hard because there was an elephant in the room and you were like, elephant? What elephant? You didn't want to see it. Like, that's this energy here. And that's what's causing you now not to be at risk of seeing, not being able to see an opportunity come in. You got hit hard here. When there's an elephant in the room and you can't see it, like it usually has escalated to maybe where there was a tower here in this energy. And someone that knew more than you and knew that you were vulnerable decided to take advantage of you in that energy. And it's really interesting because in my case, I was just guided to look something up on the internet, and it confirmed for me that this person went out of their way to try and set me up in a situation that would be very not beneficial for me. And really nasty energy, and with a big smile on their face kind of energy. And I just got that confirmation this morning, and I was like, oh, okay, that my intuition was correct. There was an elephant in the room. And so this battle star energy is talking about having the courage to be able to move forward and having the discernment to know when to hang back. And you've learned that lesson. I feel like, always do your homework, of course, but you can't turn down every opportunity that comes your way because of past energy. The Pisces energy, Neptune moved out of Pisces and moved into the sign of Aries like around a month and a half ago. And Neptune is going to be there for the next 14 years. And it's talking about taking a new attitude now. And I feel that energy is really coming in. Pisces is a senior executive, and this is the most executive or the most mature of all the water signs. And so this is saying this wounded warrior energy has put you in this Pisces energy where you're taking your sensitivity now and you have the discernment to be able to tell right away whether this is like your intuition, you're listening to it. And this is the good thing. You may have been told your whole life that you are too sensitive, but maybe you were just hanging out with assholes, like, so you have to, take it how it comes. And then we have jealousy here. And yeah, when people, this is a karmic space we can all fall into. Jealousy is, we can even be jealous of our own selves. Like, we could be jealous of ourselves when we were 20 pounds lighter, or when we had more money, or when we, had more freedom, or whatever that is. And it's a decision. I'd rather be better than bitter. And so instead of becoming bitter and, becoming hateful because of what's happened to you, you decide to choose love instead. And that's going to bring in all this beautiful new energy. I really like this reading. It's good information for anyone, really. We all have a little bit of every sign in us. So, okay, so this has elevated you to Empress status, basically, is what it's saying, which is a powerful manifester and having the discernment. The Empress is basically all four queens from the minor arcana, having learned through hardship and life, life skill and life experience. To become an Empress is like in tarot, like a badge of honor of saying you have a lot of beautiful qualities and you've stayed on your path, and it has been, challenging, and you might feel wounded, but you can be really proud of yourself. And it has raised your energy that now you're going to be attracting someone that has to match this energy instead of the victim energy from when you were, picked on in school in grade 4, that type of energy. I also want to point out that when I have horoscope signs come out in my collective readings, that this energy, I'm not talking about individuals, I'm talking about learning from the strengths and weaknesses of each sign. And in your own individual, you might be saying, no, it is a Gemini, it is a Pisces. Trust your intuition on that. That could be true for sure. But I just want you to know that's not my intention as I'm doing the reading here. Sagittarius energy, wanting new adventure, a new world, wanting to expand. That's where we started this energy right here. And so it's talking about you're ready for it. And then we have the transition. God is smiling down on this. This is something you deserve. When the sun comes out, it's saying that this is the happiest card in the deck, and it's shining light on your situation. So this is also talking about being able to see very clearly the energy. And so if on that, it keeps coming up on May 1st when that full moon energy hit, you may have had been really feeling like down and wondering, why can't anything ever work for me? And it was actually working for you. And maybe you're starting to see this now. And if you don't see it yet, you'll see it by the 16th with the new moon. The seeds of whatever happened there, that clearing, are planted, are ready to plant so that you can move into this new way. Really good. Foolhardy. You're on a foolhardy journey as the Fool on your new journey. It's saying that you're in your heart, you're going after your authentic desires. You are very close to having this, everything that you can possibly have in a perfectly imperfect world. And look at this, falling and failing in love is a matter of I. You loved yourself enough to heal yourself and to say, look, I'm nobody's victim. That's the type of energy. And justice is coming in. So the justice could be just as simple as the fact that whoever has been doing their best to take you down, whatever they've been wishing for you, they're going to be handed that probably 100-fold. It depends on how long. So it's going to hit them hard because it's, this energy of being someone being really kind and sensitive, that type of energy is hard to find. Someone who's really genuinely loving like that. Unconditional love is not on the plate for from a lot of people. And I feel this is part of the justice is the regret for having lost you, because you don't want anything to do with them anymore, whoever was in that. And we have God's judgment here. And so this is interesting because both these cards are the same dragon. She's falling upside down here. Falling and failing in love is a matter of I. You have to love yourself enough, like, to whatever your vibration's at, that's what you're going to attract. And the judgment coming in from God saying, it's time, pick a side. And in this, it's talking about the heart chakra in both instances. So this is talking about the cosmic heart. Sagittarius energy, interestingly enough, in the constellation of Sagittarius, there's a black hole. And a lot of people feel that this is the heart of the Milky Way. So, you know, this is God's judgment, the universe's judgment, and this is your judgment, being sound, because you love yourself enough to make strong judgments. Really, really good energy. Really like it a lot. I do hope you've enjoyed it as well. Give it a like and comment if you have. Consider subscribing to the channel if you resonate, and I'll be back with another reading for you soon. Bye for now, Cancer. Did you have a nice sleep? You silly girl.